our stress better. You know, we're going to be doing the Al Chetz during Yom Kippur. One of the sins that we're going to be, gently tapping our chests for is called imutz halev. That is a contraction of the heart. That is a contracting, hardening of the heart. And they're not talking about some sort of medical condition when they wrote that. It's talking about contracting our souls, contracting our vision of who we are and what we can accomplish in this life. Now, I have a little passage here from Marianne Williamson's, what's the name of this book? The Gift of Change. I spoke about change in great detail on Rosh Hashanah morning. But anyway, she goes on to say this, and I think these are wise words. When the heart is contracted, other things become contracted as well. Your relationships, your career, your money, your health, your life. We often contract as a response to stress, as though we're trying to defend against an oncoming force. But in fact, if I contract to avoid pressure, I inevitably create more of it. Why? Because my behavior when I'm contracted, tough, stressed, angry, then causes situations to add more stress. The antidote to stress is counterintuitively to relax into it. If you have kids to raise, a job to complete, a paper to write, and 2 business trips to take before the end of next week, you will help yourself not by tensing up, but by loosening up. Your contracting won't somehow help it all come together in time. Quite the opposite. Loosen up, and time will loosen up as well. According to Einstein, time and space are illusions of consciousness. Like everything else, they take their lead from you. Recognizing the origins of stress from a spiritual perspective, we find a key to dismantling the thoughts that produce it. Stress is simply the inevitable consequence of thinking the unreal is real. In that sense, stress is a choice. If an issue is of the world, then attaching it to our senses of success or failure, satisfaction or lack of satisfaction, is a setup. Nothing in the world can give us a deeper peace because the Spirit is not at home in the world. To the extent that our sense of well-being is tied in any way to the things of the material world, we will be prone to worry and anxiety. So, I think those are some wise words. I like especially the beginning of the passage that I wrote. It sounds counterintuitive, but when you are experiencing stress, and whether stress is real or not, we relax into it. We don't contract ourselves. If we contract ourselves, all we do is create more stress. Just when we need to be more expansive in the face of something that is stress-inducing, we close down often. And what Marianne Williamson is saying is, no, that is the time to expand. Okay, so get comfortable. Find yourself a place where you can sit, where you probably will not be interrupted in the next few moments. Put your feet flat on the floor. Sit up straight. Let your hands rest peacefully on your laps or on the armchair or on the armrests of your chair. Allow your eyes to close. Bring your focus to your breathing. Notice how your breath expands and contracts. As you take a breath in today, with each breath that you take in, try to expand a little bit. Just a little bit. Taking in more air, more oxygen, more possibilities. Let your mind rest. We have a little bit of work to do today, a little bit of spiritual work that we can accomplish in this meditation. Now, we have spoken previously about that part of your mind that can observe what's happening without judgment, without attachment. That part of the mind that observes what's happening in the screen, that kind of screen that's in the front of the mind, where thoughts arise and fall away, where thoughts come into our mind in visions or in dialogues, but we don't get attached. We just observe. From this vantage point of observing in a non-detached and yet compassionate way, think of some situation that causes you stress. Don't feel that stress right now. Just observe. Just observe that situation. It could be a work situation, a relationship situation, a health situation, but something that causes you stress. It may be something in the news that causes you stress. Whatever it is, choose to look at one area in your life that evokes from you stress. And you know that stress doesn't help you because it begins to contract you just when you need to expand, just when you need inspiration and strength to solve whatever it is that's causing stress. So picture in your mind that situation, that kind of encounter with the world that provokes stress in you. And watch it. Look at the particulars. Look at the details that bring about that stressful condition in you. And instead of contracting, relax into that stressful or that stress-producing situation. Breathe a little deeply, a little more deeply. Be relaxed. And observe it for what it is. It may not be pleasant. But you are opening your heart, expanding your consciousness to outflank that stress-evoking situation. And you do not respond with anger or fear. You respond by looking objectively at what is causing you that stress. And you don't give in to the stress. You don't give in to the contraction of the heart. You relax into it. You expand into it. You rise above it. This doesn't mean that you're not going to deal with it. You will. But you will deal with whatever that situation is, whatever that encounter is. You will deal with it expansively. Your mind is greater than that situation. Feel that expansiveness, that widening of the heart, the widening of the mind. Our peripheral vision, physically and spiritually, is widened. Breathe regularly, expansively. Some people, when they engage in this sort of meditation, call on God to bring new insights, new pathways to solve or to meet a challenge. You might do that at this time. What new approaches come to you at this time? what new approach to that challenge comes to you at this time? Listen very carefully. Perhaps there are two new approaches that you never thought of before to this situation, to this kind of encounter that you experience that causes a stress reaction. Whatever causes you stress doesn't really cause you stress. It is your reaction, your contraction of the mind that causes the stress. And you have a choice on how you can respond. Take a deep breath, hold it, and release it. Take another deep breath, release it. One more. Good. I hope this was useful for you, and I hope you will be able to deal with stressful situations more effectively in the new year. Maybe that will be one of your New Year's resolutions. Yes. So, I will see you maybe tomorrow. I will see you maybe tomorrow at 9:30. Oh, no, actually, I won't be here tomorrow. Rachel Kaplan will be filling in for me tomorrow, but I'll be back on Thursday for the Minyan and meditation, and Minyan at 9, the meditation at 9:30, and of course Shabbat services and on Friday night and Saturday morning, and Yom Kippur. Can you believe? Can you believe it? Yom Kippur is almost upon us this Sunday night. If you haven't gotten your prayer books yet, your high holiday prayer books, your Machzarim, call the temple. Call the temple office and arrange to come in and pick some up. Okay, Boker Tov, Boker Or, and Gemar Chatima Tova. Smile and bring a smile to someone else's face this morning.